taking. And we're live. Hey everybody, it's Jody. Welcome to So Get This, and a very special night tonight because we are interviewing Riley and Betty of the Wayward Daughters Academy. Hey ladies.
Hi.
So what I'd like to do is actually just ask you guys, tell us about the Wayward Daughters Academy and, why you started this campaign.
Okay. Betty, do you want to talk about it?
Okay, so Wayward Daughters happened.
I'm sorry, I got to pause that tonight because we are interviewing Riley and Betty of the. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, you're good.
Okay, so Wayward Daughters is a feat of sociological magnitude. So Wayward Daughters began as a concept, a very rough concept within the show Supernatural, where we have Jody and we have Donna and they have amazing chemistry, and everybody, there were talks about a spinoff that didn't really fly, and so everybody kind of put two and two together, like, wouldn't it be really cool if Jody and Donna got their own show? And then, things just kind of whispered and grew and grew and grew. And then the episode Angel Heart happened, and it kind of came to an apex, I guess. And so a lot of people were really enthusiastic about this idea, and Riley, Riley, who I like to introduce as the best human just on the planet. So Riley, the best human on the planet, decided, well, somebody should do something. And so she tweeted, Kim and Brianna and said, wouldn't it be cool if? And then Kim said, well, all we can do is generate interest. And so Riley took the plunge, made all the handles that needed to be made, and everybody just bounced on it, and it just kind of grown from there.
Wow, that's fantastic, because when I first discovered you guys on Twitter, I'm like, oh my God, this needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That is so epic. And, I think a lot of people who've watched Hitting 911 got the same thing, like, oh my God, you put too much awesome one room together and it just explodes.
And they're just amazing actresses, and they have just fantastic chemistry, and I don't know, that was probably my favorite episode of last season, like, hands down.
Oh, totally. Mine too. I mean, those women are just fabulous. And I lost my chat room. My chat room just went away somehow. I will find you guys. I will find you. No worries. I will have.
They're lost. They're lost in the ether.
My tab room. I don't know what happened to my tab. But
we'll find you. We'll save you.
We'll find you. Hold on. I love live. Every conceivable thing happens. Murphy's Law just reigns really strong here. Here we go, and we are. Let me find my. Okay, now let's go to. I guess I have to go to my. Only on live TV. What I wanted to ask you in the meantime, while I'm looking for that, why don't you explain who your team is and what it is that you guys do?
You want to go for this one, Riley?
Okay. So our team, you're looking at it. It's just the two of us.
You're a two-woman show.
Yep. And then if you want to consider Kim and Brianna part of the team, which we do, obviously they can't officially endorse their own spin-off basically, but they are a huge part of this behind the scenes from the very beginning. They it pretty much was kind of Kim's idea, because initially I tweeted her saying we can do a Kickstarter. I'm a graphic designer. I could design a shirt, and sell it to get some proceeds. And so she was like, that's a really nice idea, but more than that, we need enthusiasm and we need support from a lot of people. So a better way to do it would just be to get everybody's voices channeled through one, vocal funnel, basically. And so I was like, we can do that, because I saw there were thousands of people on Tumblr that were just so excited about the idea. So anyway, I don't think Kim had quite this in mind when she said that. But, you know, it was kind of her idea to do that, and then she was just, like, super pumped about it. So, like, we consider them part of the team, and, like, anytime we have any questions, we go to them, and they're so helpful, and they are our cheerleaders, like, every day. They're just so supportive of everything.
Yeah, this has been an incredibly just unrelentingly positive experience, I think, for everybody involved, because it's just, we really like this idea. Yeah, we love it. And then it's just constant positivity bouncing back and forth, and, you know, brainstorming, you know, how can, you know, not necessarily like, let's make this happen, but how can we get as many people involved and as vocal as possible? And so a huge aspect when we talk about our team, it's pretty much anybody who wants to get involved, because there's no, you know, it's all just about the enthusiasm. So every retweet, every reblog, every time anybody uses a hashtag on any social networking site, you know, they're part of the team too, because we're all Wayward Daughters. That sounds kind of cheesy, but it's really true, you know?
I think that should be a hashtag.
Oh,
That's a hashtag.
We're all
Wayward Daughters. All right, I'm putting that in the chat room. We're all Wayward Daughters. There we go. Yes.
That was actually the rallying cry that Kim used, like, when we were still trying to think of a name for this.
Yeah.
We presented her with a couple. Yeah, do you remember that? I think you came up with one, and somebody else. It might have been Zoe Willow's mama who came up with another. But we presented them to Kim, and she retweeted it and quoted and said, I like this one because we're all Wayward Daughters. And then I was like, yes, that's it. Like, we are, like, all of us, even, you know, not girls, are still part of this. So
everybody that's a part of the supernatural family, I think, could be considered a wayward daughter or wayward son. But let's take a look in the chat window. We've got a lot of activity going on here, a lot of excitement.
Oh, yay!
Okay, so let's see. Well, I wanted to also, I did mention we have someone from the Netherlands who's awake drinking coffee to watch y'all.
Yay.
Very exciting. Okay, and we've got Rogue who's saying howdy, and Silver I'm gonna massacre this name. Silver Mononoke or Mononoke.
Mononoke.
Oh, yeah.
Mononoke? Okay. And Rogue is saying, Riley, you look beautiful.
Oh my God, thanks.
Wired Sisters is saying, heck yeah, getting the word out about Wayward Daughters. And your Gishwiz team is here, saying your team is here, Team Free Will.
I love you guys.
And Stephanie Ferguson is writing your old team represents as well.
Yay, I also love time traveling Yetis.
Rogue's asking a question if you can give a quick rundown of what you're doing until I got on Twitter in May. I thought I was the only one who wanted more Jody and Donna.
Okay, so is that asking, like, what was happening before?
Before that, yeah.
Okay. Nothing, because this literally started on May 1st. So you didn't miss anything.
Awesome.
Gosh, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? I know, it's been 6 months already.
Crazy.
Wow. Okay. All right. So my next question is, well, you kind of touched upon what Kim's reaction was to the whole thing. How about Brianna? What was her take on it?
So this all happened in the span of like a day. Angel Heart appeared, and then we all went crazy on Twitter talking to Kim, and Kim was talking to us. And so all of this happened. We secured all the social media pages, and thousands of people like tweeted and reblogged and everything, and like there was so much activity going. And then I suddenly realized, like, we never asked Kim or Brianna if she was okay with this. Like, we forced Brianna into this craziness, and we never asked if she was okay with it. So like, but thankfully, by that time, she had already followed the Wayward Daughters account, so I sent her a direct message, and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry about all of this, but like we talked to Kim about this and she was so pumped, and then we kind of got a little carried away, and then we just kind of dragged you into this, like, are you okay with this? And so she immediately sent me a message back that was like, I'm totally cool with this, and basically whatever Kim does, I'm game for. And I was like, all right, yes, perfect. So her initial reaction was excitement, and then obviously everybody's seen the enthusiasm that she's had and Kim has had since then, so that's been really cool.
That's great. In addition to Kim and Brianna, who would your dream cast be?
We talked about this last night. So, you know, as far as like canon verse characters, obviously you need Jodie, Donna, Claire, and then Alex, because that's like the pre-made situation. And then we've had a lot of people talking about Chrissy and her gang of teenage hunters, because they would be really perfect to like bring in. I don't know how old they are now, but I would assume that they're still kind of in that age group, probably. And then we've had a couple of people talk about bringing in Mama Tran, which I think is an awesome idea.
That like, literally just popped up on the chat room screen.
Yeah,
as you said that, yes.
I think it would be so great, because you know Mama Tran would keep those crazy teenagers in line. And then, of course, if you're going to bring in Mama Tran, you got to bring in Ghost Kevin, and Ghost Kevin's going to be a great liaison between the supernatural world and the non-supernatural world. And then if you're going to bring in Ghost Kevin, you got to bring in... Wait. Do I have to say spoilers? Because
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert for those who are not caught up. Yes.
Okay, so if you're gonna bring in Ghost Kevin, you have to bring in Ghost Charlie, like obviously, or just don't even have her as a ghost. Just pretend like that didn't even happen. Just bring Felicia Day into the fray, and then have her interact with everybody as a normal human. And then, like, a lot of people have said something about bringing back Erica Carroll or bringing in Ruth Connell as, like, a villain-type character, which would be really cool.
And Elena Huffman.
Oh, and Elena Huffman.
Oh, my God, yes.
She's also dead, so that would be another one of those situations where, like...
And while we're at it, how about some Joe and Ellen?
Oh, yeah. My God.
Oh, my God, yes, please.
Just somehow, anyhow, like, even just for a cameo, I would give my left arm to have Joe and Ellen back.
Oh,
so,
God,
I really like Missouri Mosley.
I'm sorry?
I really like Missouri Mosley.
Yes. Oh, yes,
who's from season 2, right? Or season 1 or 2, and like nothing bad happened to her. She's still out there. She's still around. Where is she? What's she doing?
Such a perfect person to bring in, because Jodie would give her some sass, and she would throw that sass right back at her, and it would just be amazing.
And what would be really awesome is that, like, in every first season of any kind of paranormal show, there's always somebody who gives them cases, and, Missouri is a psychic, so she can be like, I psychic this, and you gotta go save somebody, like, so many ideas. So many ideas.
My God, this could go in a million different directions, and each one of them sounds epic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need Meg, both 1 and 2, somehow.
Yeah.
Put the screen together, if that could work.
And Jen, Ruby. I just want Ruby back.
Yes!
I really liked Ruby.
How about
Ruby was one of my favorites.
Every single actress who's ever done anything on Supernatural, and just like pile them all into one show. Can we do that?
Oh, and Adam Rose.
My God. It sounds like the Supernatural Ladies Convention we're trying to
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Rose too.
I would like Adam Rose to come back. I just think he was really good. I think he was really good in his one episode.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, young Mary Winchester. Rogue saying young Mary Winchester.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, for a time travel app, right?
Yeah.
Hey. That works. We have a question from Weird Sisters, or Wired Sisters. It's WYRD. I suck at pronouncing it. And she writes, question, do you believe that a show like Wayward Daughters Academy could help to shape a new wave of shows with strong female casts that are not labeled as chick shows because of it?
Absolutely. In fact, I think if Wayward Daughters was made as a TV show, it would be just television history, because it would be, one, an idea born of fans, because, you know, the better technology gets, the better social networking gets, the closer the fan base is to the show. And so Supernatural is already an historical show, because it's it has a cult fan base like Star Trek, but unlike Star Trek, the fans weren't nearly as close as we are to our actual canon, you know. And so if we just took that a step further and we made this kind of child of Supernatural, you know, it would be just like cinematic history, you know. It would be so amazing, because like it would really be like, here is our voice, we need this to happen, and then it would happen, and then that would keep happening. So it would be the best possible scenario, you know.
Rogue is saying that you should find Crowley's wife.
Crowley's wife.
Yeah. I mean, she should be a ghost, but
okay.
That would be interesting to see.
Who would marry Crowley?
I know, right? Well, he had a son, so obviously.
He had a son, so he was with someone, whether it's a wife or a fling or something. But and Corey5268 is here and says, "Is there even a fourth wall on Supernatural?"
No.
I think there was until Jensen broke it.
There's a fourth rubble. It's just rubble.
I think that the fourth wall came crashing down the minute that they did the monster at the end of this book. Like, as soon as they introduced Chuck and the Supernatural books and the Supernatural conventions, and then, of course, with, like, the French mistake, as soon as that happened, it was like, no, there's no divide between us anymore.
The fourth Detrius, the fourth debris. This is not a fourth wall. The fourth window.
The fourth gaping chasm.
Yes.
The fourth immense abyss.
So I wanted to ask you guys, so tell us about yourselves as individuals. Do you guys have creative endeavors? What do you guys do? Anything. I was going to take it somewhere and I lost my train of thought.
I'm a fanfic author in the fandom, and I go by Betty Days, and you can find me bettydays.tumblr.com or Betty_days on Twitter. I used to write Destiel-fic, and now I've switched to Marvel. But yeah, all my fics are on AO3, and I write a lot. There's a lot there.
Awesome. And do you write other Supernatural related fics, or are you focused more on Marvel now?
Yeah, I'm just entirely doing Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Riley?
I am a graphic designer by day and a traditional artist by occasional nights. That's something that I've been trying to do a lot more frequently.
Is that something that you've done that you're sitting behind you? Can you tell us about that? That looks awesome.
This is Cass while he's under the attack dog spell. So behind that, actually, I totally didn't mean to do this. I know this seems super intentional that I'm going to do this, but just watch. So I have this. I think everybody saw that.
Oh my
God.
Right, I'm going to shut up so that you start talking so that you take up the whole screen so we can see this.
Okay, so, yeah, so I've been doing a lot more Supernatural fan art recently because, you know, it's something that I'm so passionate about that it there's really not much else in my life that I'll see an image or I'll think of something and immediately I have to get home and I have to start painting or I have to start drawing. But Supernatural is like that, and also it's so amazing doing fan art because with the average art form, you can post it on social media and people will say like, oh, that's pretty or something. But with fan art, you have a built-in, immediate, rabid fan base that's going to give you instantaneous feedback. And it doesn't matter if it's like good. Well, obviously it does matter if it's good or bad. But just the fact that you're getting any feedback at all from an artistic standpoint is really important, and it just makes you want to do more art. So I've gotten really great feedback with the Supernatural fan art that I've done, like just.
Oh, there now. I'm a teen girl, if you couldn't tell.
And Brianna. Oh, this one.
Good.
This one's good. Don't pay no attention to this one. This one's my fiance. Brianna. So
good.
Anyway. So
that your work is astounding.
Oh, thank you.
Astounding. Have any of the actors seen your work?
Yes, I did a gigantic, truly ridiculous painting of Rowena, and Ruth Connell saw it, and then, obviously, Brianna saw hers. She liked it, so it's really validating having, the actual person that you're like spending hours staring at their face, being like, oh yeah, that does look like me, and this is nice. So that's really nice. I apologize for making so much noise. I'm gonna stop now.
No, oh my God! Thank you for sharing that with us. Mind blowing. And now everybody in the chat room is going berserk over your work. By the way, Betty Rogue is asking for Samina fic. She is completely obsessed with hooking up Sam and Rowena.
Sam and Rowena. I ship that. Yeah, no, definitely. I see that. I always like Sam and older women. That's like,
that
Sam and older women is like, I get that.
There was a big Sam and Jody ship contingent for a while. It was like, it was probably in like season 6 or something that it was like super popular. I don't remember why, but I just remember seeing that a lot and thinking like, okay, yeah. I can see that.
I'm into that.
There is another. Wait, I'm sorry. Wow, the chat room's blowing up. It's really amazing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Rogue is saying that she saw your Rowena painting on Twitter.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yay. I just pulled a Jared, like, you're welcome.
As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Riley.
I'm a huge fan of Betty.
So this works out really well.
Weird Sisters is saying that that's one of the best things about Supernatural, that people who are not in the fandom don't realize that being a part of the fandom elicits an incredible amount of creativity, art, fiction.
It really does.
Everything, jewelry design. It's. I mean, I've always made jewelry, but Supernatural took my jewelry designs in a completely different direction that I find, at least at this point in my life, the creativity pool is bottomless. Like, I can do it all day, every day, forever, and not run out of ideas. At least that's how I feel right now, because the show is that inspiring to me, and it looks like, you guys have the same passion for what you do in your creative lives, too, from the show.
Absolutely. And I am daily astounded at the amount of enthusiasm and creativity and just the passion that Supernatural fans have. I think that we're in kind of a unique position being able to interact with such a large contingent of the fan base through Wayward Daughters. And this is something that so many people are really, really passionate about. So anytime you have a contingent of the fan base that is extremely passionate about one particular thing in the fandom, they're going to be so creative and just, you know, come up with like the most amazing ideas and just these wonderful stories. I mean, we've had tons of people writing Wayward Daughters stories. I know a couple of people are writing Wayward Daughters stuff for NaNoWriMo. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I know that like Exercising Emily is doing a Wayward Daughters thing, and like it just inspires so much creativity when you are so enthusiastic about something. And you know, Supernatural fans are just so passionate, and I think that's why like Misha started Random Acts, because he saw this insane amount of creativity and this passion and this willingness to just give, you know, all of your creative energy over to something that you're so passionate about and not ask for anything in return. So he started Random Acts basically just because he knew that this creative energy could be channeled into something really positive. And so like that's kind of how it is with Wayward Daughters, like just trying constantly to channel all of this passion into something that's going to be really positive. And it's that every day. Like every day I'm just so impressed by all of the fans who interact with us and all of the stuff that they come up with. It's really, really cool.
Corey mentioned that honestly, Wayward Daughters is the only spin-off I'd ever want to see.
Same.
I think a lot of people feel that way. I mean, obviously we all know about the failed spin-off attempt. And really, I think, yeah, it was bad, but it was bad for a variety of different reasons. But I think that where they mainly failed is that they have a built-in fan base for pretty much any group of characters. So they tried to introduce a whole new group of characters and say, like, this is the spin-off, but Supernatural is such an entity that you can't just bring in a whole new storyline and say, like, this is a Supernatural spin-off. Like, no, this is just like werewolves, you know? It's just a different kind of supernatural show. So I think that, you know, it was kind of a mistake on their part to try to do that. Instead of finding characters that already had a home with the fans, and, you know, like, having a built-in fan base is really, really important. So I think that that's part of the reason that the Wayward Daughters idea resonates with so many people, because there's such a large group of fans that are so in love with, like, Jody and Donna, or Claire, you know, like Jody and Alex, their dynamic. So that's probably why, you know, a lot of people think that this is like the spin-off that they would watch.
Are the Catherines, and by that I mean Catherine Newton and Catherine Ramdeen, are they both on board as well?
We have had a lot of really positive interaction with Catherine Ramdeen. She was on board way from the very beginning, and we've interacted with her. We've had some minor interaction with Catherine Newton. I think that she is probably just so, like, already involved in other stuff that she's too busy to focus on the wee Wayward Daughters project. But she has, you know, like at, what was it? Was it this last con, not ChiCon, but the one before that? It was Asylum 15. Duh. So that was where Catherine and then Kim and Brianna were all in the same place at the same time, and then we had this amazing impromptu Wayward Daughters panel, like, that happened. So she started, you know, tweeting, Instagramming pictures of the three of them together, and then she kind of mentioned Wayward Daughters that way. So she's aware of it, and I think that she thinks that it would be really cool We just haven't had as much interaction with her because she's
very, very busy.
doing
A
some
rising star.
Is I've tried to get interviews with her for a very long time. I did interview Catherine Ramsden a while back, and she was
I actually watched that. She is the sweetest person. She's so cool.
really is. She's a beautiful, incredibly talented young woman that I could just, I'll watch anything she does. There was a good comment up here I wanted to read to you guys. Weird Sisters wrote, I also think Wayward Daughters is a great way to bring more girls/women into the fandom who may be otherwise cautious. It builds such an accepting and protective community for younger girls.
That is such a great point, because, I think, Betty, you were the one who kind of brought this up in the very beginning, that, like, one of the really unique and powerful aspects of this idea is this concept of women mentoring girls and, taking them in and providing for them a better life and, just taking the wayward daughter and making her whole again, basically. So yeah, I think it's really an important concept in media to have young girls not only feel like they have positive female role models, and young boys too. It's really just important for younger people to have positive female role models, especially
to have young boys looking up to a woman as a role model.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the points that we were trying to make. When Mark Pedowitz was quoted as saying that, we hope this puts the final nail in the coffin of this being a young girls network. So everybody was very discouraged by that, understandably, because, you have to know your fan base, and I think that trying to separate yourself from such a large contingent of your, overwhelmingly enthusiastic fan base is, it's not something that you should do necessarily, but
well, I mean, it's hurtful, to be to have such a positive interaction with such a large community, and then to know that this thing that you love, this community that you're in, is hated by the reason that the community exists, And so it's, if we did Wayward Daughters, we would be the same community, but we would be connected by something, a much more positive force. I've had so many people, come up to me and be like, not come up to me physically, but, I've had friends that are like, should I get into Supernatural? And, they're feminists. And I have to be like, well, yes, but beware. They
all die.
Yeah, so the feminist interaction with the show is actually within the fan base, and you're not going to find it in the show. And so just be aware of that. But if we had, if we had this positive force, make this other positive force, it would just be, it would feel so much more like home, Like, I feel like kind of an unwelcome aspect of watching Supernatural, because the people who do run CW want it to be a show for boys, and so Wayward Daughters would be a show for all of the other voices that Supernatural has kind of ignored, and so I just feel like it would be such an empowering voice to have this show, it would improve so many people's lives,
And I've had a lot of people approach the page and say things like, hey, I just pitched this concept to my friend who doesn't watch the show, or I was at a party and I was completely amongst people who've never watched Supernatural, pitched the idea of Wayward Daughters, and everybody was like, that sounds awesome. I would watch that today. Like, it's a great concept because, yes, you have the built-in Supernatural fan base, but then it's also such a great standalone concept. It's so all-encompassing, and it's so it just communicates something really positive. And then, you know, like one of the great things, this is kind of off topic, but one of the great things that I just love about being able to be an administrator for Wayward Daughters is that literally every interaction that we get is really positive. It's all just supporting one another and lifting each other up, and just it's like it's been one of the most amazing experiences being able to see this side of the fandom, because we all know that there is a lot of negativity and there are just so many rifts, and you know, people are very mean to each other because of this show, you know, even though everybody is equally as invested in it. And I just love the fact that this particular concept has just brought everybody together, like from all corners of the fan base, you know, no matter what you ship or, you know, who your favorite character is, or if you stopped watching back in season 4, you know, like it's just bringing people from all corners of the fandom together in a really positive way. So that's been really, really cool to see.
And I think, especially with Supernatural, I mean, if you're in any kind of community, the LGBT community, or you know, the people of color community, you know, and non-binary communities, whenever you engage in a piece of media, there's the high likelihood that that piece of media will in some way hurt you, either by your lack of representation, or if you are represented, it's in either a negative or a very static light, you know. And so every time you buy a movie ticket and you go into a movie, there's a chance that you're going to come out with like a piece of yourself hurting. And I think all of us, especially in the Wayward Daughters community, really understand that feeling, that you just have to kind of swallow it down in order to be entertained by, you know, the mass media. But I think Wayward Daughters is absolutely a voice that would help heal that, you know, because we would be represented and we would be taken care of as, you know, the people who are so underrepresented in what we watch.
I agree with that. It's like a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like creating a safe place for fans and new coming fans to feel. It's kind of like, and I was touching upon this point last night when I was talking to the ladies of SPN Con, and we're talking about how it's so important that anything associated with this show, that people recognize it to be a safe space, because there are so many fans that, you know, attend conventions or you know, outings with other Supernatural fans, because that's how many of us feel that's the only time we can really be ourselves and accept it. And having something like the Wayward Daughters Academy, like you said, Betty, it's home. It would create that warmth, that family. It would be a true Supernatural family feeling. I'm going to jump over to the chat window for a second because we got some more really great comments and questions here. Let me just scroll back up. Okay. Taryn had commented that I've gotten the feeling a lot of times that people think I only watch because of the attractive men. Well, that's what hooked me initially. I watched it for Sam and Dean, and I stayed for the stories with all of the characters. And then Stephanie writes, if they wanted it to be for boys, they should not have chosen the most attractive men in the universe to star in it. But then, you know, now we're getting into, you know, Charlie was a great character. You know, lots of comments about the women in the show, and how people are completely attached to the female characters.
I mean, that is a huge strength of Supernatural, is that it's from day one, they have made these incredibly relatable, engaging characters, and that is one of its consistent strengths, is that even just for one episode, the people that they put on the screen are just like, you just are really engaged with them. You know, they're well written, well casted. You know, I will give a million props to Supernatural for their casting and creative character writing.
They do such a good job with that, don't they? I mean,
I think the casting director is Robert Ulrich, if I remember. So he's fantastic. Huge fan.
You know, we're sitting there and we're watching, you know, like for example, I was watching the TNT rewatch this morning, and you know, it was the episode. It was a Dick Roman episode, and I'm sitting there like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. And then that means they did a good job. I'm supposed to hate him, you know. But yeah, I mean, each and every character, even if, you know, a short-lived character, you just get sucked in and emotionally invested in some way. Yeah, their casting is amazing, and you know, hopefully that those are the people that are going to also be casting when Wayward Daughters Academy comes to life. And here's an interesting question. Rogue's asking if you think that the Wayward Daughters would be more accepted in Europe instead of U.S. and Canada. Do you have any gauge on what the mentality would be like? If there's a difference in, you know, how female roles are accepted over there?
Well, I really feel like, as long as Moffat doesn't touch it, I'll just put it that way. So the thing about British television is that it's always a little bit ahead of the times in terms of social progression than American TV, and I don't know why that is. You know, in America, our media is heavily grounded in Los Angeles, Hollywood, and so the people who live there, the people in Los Angeles, are the ones making our TV. And I get Vancouver in Canada. So, but in Europe, I don't think it's nearly as centralized, and I think that plays a big factor in it. But I do think if we did Wayward Daughters in Europe, I'm not sure. I do know things have changed a lot because I feel like fandom and the participation in fandom is very international. And so I think there's just a myriad of factors of participation in fandom that would affect success depending on locale.
That sounds reasonable. Rogue's shouting, "No, Moffat!" Okay.
Moffat!
So let's talk about what are your all-time favorite Supernatural moments?
Okay, Betty, go.
Season 4, Episode 1, Lazarus Rising, is one of the best television episodes in the history of TV, and I am a huge TV nerd, and I keep very intricate lists of my favorite things ever, and I can watch Lazarus Rising on repeat until the end of time.
Oh, wow. What was it about the episode that grabbed you?
It was, it has a really unique pacing for a season opener in that it's slow and it hurts and it's engaging. And so, you know, you come from season 3 where Dean dies, and so you're just destroyed by that, and you go immediately into season 4, and then you see Misha fucking Collins, who just like owns the camera because he thinks, you know, fuck it, this is gonna be three episodes. I'm just go big or go home, you know. And he went big, and it showed. And it's just like they have fantastic chemistry. It is an amazingly written episode. You know, like season 4 is one of my favorite seasons of any television show ever. So, and so it was just a great opening. I cannot talk enough about how much I love Lazarus Rising.
There is no better debut. Yeah. I don't know what you call it, but I mean, Misha Collins made the fucking entrance of the century.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no question. So, Riley, how about you?
I love Lazarus Rising also. I was just telling Betty a funny story last night. It's too long to get into some other time about Lazarus Rising. But then, like, I love all of the episodes with Gabriel. I just love
oh my gosh
the dynamics that they all have with Richard Speight. Like, especially
Richard Speight's fantastic.
Yeah, Mystery Spot as an episode, because like I have such a special place in my heart for Groundhog Day. So that episode was just like so hilarious to me, and the way that Jensen acted it. I mean, obviously, like Jared was awesome in it too, and then Richard Speight is awesome in everything, and then changing channels, of course.
All the made episodes.
Yeah, and then like getting into the Ghost Facers thing. Yeah, like Ghost Facers. And the reason that I think that those episodes or those moments with the Ghost Facers are so special is because that's the only time, apart from The Man Who Would Be King, which is a Castiel-centric episode, the Ghost Facers episodes are the only time that they veered from Sam and Dean are the main focus of the episode, and it was so successful, and like it was such an interesting dynamic, you know, shifting gears, completely changing. Of course, like Supernatural as an entity does that a lot, you know, with their like meta episodes and stuff. But it was just really interesting, especially like after campaigning for Wayward Daughters, thinking like, oh, maybe you can have a Supernatural episode where it's focused on not just Sam and Dean. Like, I mean, not that that's a bad thing, obviously, but we've had 11 years of, like, every episode is focused on them, and it was such a cool experience to see that they could take the focus away from them and still have a really successful episode. And I think we saw that again with Hibbing 911, because that episode, yes, it does involve Sam and Dean, but I mean, if you're going to be completely honest, that episode was about Jodie and Donna, and it was so successful. Like it was in the top 5 rated episodes of season 10, and it was just a monster of the week. Like that never happens, including like the premiere of season 10, the finale of season 10, and then just Hibbing 911. And I think that's such a huge testament to Kim and Brianna, obviously. So that was one of my favorite things. And then like pretty much anything to do with Cass is going to be, like, everything Cass is my favorite moment.
So let me guess who your favorite character might be. What I want to do is just to take a moment. I do a contest every Tuesday night at the end of the show, and it's a trivia question. So I'm going to put the trivia question out there, and the first person to answer it correctly, no typos or anything, because I get like that, will win a $50 gift certificate to my shop.
Nice.
And anybody who has not won from me in the past 8 weeks is allowed to participate. So the question is from Hibbing 911, and it's an exchange between Jodie and Donna. So Jodie says, honestly, Donna, I just met the guy, but Doug seems like kind of a dick. So the question is, what was Donna's response to that? And it has to be perfect.
Oh, I know this one. You better get this right, Becca.
So the first person to write the correct answer without any typos or anything will win the $50 gift certificate. So with that being said, while they're going and doing searches to get the answer, because I'm sure that's what you're all doing, I'm going to ask you guys this question. This is something I ask everybody. If you were trapped on an island and you can only have one supernatural character with you, who would it be?
I've thought about this so much.
This is such a great question.
It is a great question, and I'm only hesitating to answer because Lisa Berry obviously had the best answer, and no answer is ever going to be better than Lisa Berry's answer, except for Betty's answer, actually. Betty, your answer is amazing. So I'm just going to get mine out of the way because it's dumb. It's Cass. It's just because I love Cass.
Short and sweet. I love it.
That's all there is to it. Go ahead.
Mine, I have 2 answers. The first, if Lucifer were not in the cage and we were both trapped on the island, I would want Lucifer on the island so he couldn't do anything else to the rest of the world. 2, if Lucifer were in the cage and the world was safe, I would want Chuck. Because if we're going to be trapped on an island for the rest of our lives, I'd want to be trapped with God because I have questions.
Oh, I like all of your answers. Oh, man. Every time, because I have in my head who I want, and then when I hear somebody else's answer, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I like that better. Oh, we have a winner, Cynthia Boris. She wrote, "But he was my dick."
Yay, Cynthia.
And I think that was the best line in that show.
It was pretty great.
So congratulations, Cynthia.
Woo!
So Cynthia, I'm putting my email address in the chat window. Email me with the subject line, Wayward Daughters Academy interview, so that I know which show it's from, and then I will email you back with all the information. So congratulations to you. Yeah. And now I have another question for you ladies. What can we do to help move your campaign and make this a reality?
So we get questions all the time about how people can help. From the very beginning, people were pledging their unborn children to us.
I have 4 born children that you're more than welcome to take. So.
We'll take Raven off your hands. That's fine. No, but like people are so enthusiastic, and just from the very start, it like really all this is it's purely a social media campaign. So the best way that you could ever help us would be to just continue exactly what you're doing, like you as a large fan base of thousands of people, because we don't really do anything active. It's mostly just about interacting on social media and spreading awareness. Like we had a postcard campaign, and people were writing letters to the producers and to Mark Pedowitz. So honestly, the best way that you can get involved, since we have so many people asking about this, is just tweet, blog, Facebook, just talk about it constantly, as constantly as you want. You don't have to be crazy about it, but just generating activity for the Wayward Daughters project basically is amazing. Write letters. We have a couple of posts all over the Tumblr and Twitter where you can find addresses for not only the CW network, but specifically the president of the network, the producers, so you can write letters. And we ask that you just really keep it positive. Don't write them a letter and say, like, I hate what you're doing and this is how you can fix it. Just, say, like, hey, there's
positive and professional.
Yeah. Yeah, just,
be chill.
Like, just say something like, hey, there's this idea that I really love, and here's why I think it could benefit your network, basically, is what we're asking. So we have that postcard campaign that's on TouchNote, and if anybody wants the information for that, then they can just tweet at Wayward Academy. I'll resend the information. So you can send a pre-addressed postcard directly to the president of the CW, and they're all paid for because we had a couple of really generous anonymous donors who just donated a bunch of tokens for this site. So contacting people.
The idea of the program is that if nobody's going to listen to us, we have to make ourselves heard. And so the way to do that is to just be really, really loud. So, I mean, the whole point of the campaign is, if they did decide they wanted to do this, we need to make sure they know that they would have an audience, and they know that they'll turn a profit on having this show because people will be watching it and people will be tweeting about it. And, we need to make them understand that it's important to us and that we are a community of large numbers and our money's just as good as everybody else's. Okay. So,
and that was why, that first day when we were securing all of the social media accounts, I also created a petition on change.org, and we had a couple people that were kind of weirded out by that, but the focus of the petition was not to be like, if we get this many signatures, they'll make us a TV show. Like, no, we know that's not how TV works. It was just simply a way, like a visual representation of the amount of people that are supportive of this idea. And I forgot to send you the link to the petition, but I will also...
You can send it to me, and I'm going to take all of your contact information and update it into the description under the video once the video posts.
Okay, yeah, so I'll resend that. If you haven't signed the petition already, then that's there. It's just a really good way to show, like, this amount of people would support this right now. Like,
They'd
all
sit down whatever day of the week and watch your show,
yeah,
and all the commercials with it.
Exactly, and
they
buy
would merch.
They would go to ladies' conventions, and they would buy stuff, and it would be awesome. So yeah, basically, like, the best way that you can get involved with us is just to spread the word. I was just talking to Betty about this last night, that we continue to get, you know, like, kind of whispers from throughout the fandom, like, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if Jodie and Donna had a spin-off? And I'm just like, we have that. Like, come to us. So I know
come to the dark side. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're gonna recruit everybody, but the thing is, like, the only way that we can reach those dark corners of the fandom that haven't heard about it is through word of mouth, basically. Because Kim and Brianna have done amazing work, like, spreading the word. So I'm thinking that it's just people who either don't have Twitter at all, or who just aren't very interactive. So basically just word of mouth, tell a friend, tell a stranger, tell a cat. I've been saying that all day. Tell your cat. We also made these information cards that you can print off, and you can hand them out to people at cons if you want. Obviously, that's, like, a really big commitment, but we've had a lot of people saying, like, hey, can we do something, like, active? And that's a really good way to do it. So I can also post the information for those if you want to print those out yourself.
Please do, because I work at every single Supernatural convention, so I would be more than happy to have this on my table.
Great, that would be amazing.
Yeah, anything. Oh, and Equestrian Legends, MLPFIM is saying, I have to tell my cat.
Exactly, right? Tell your cat, obviously.
Hi, Drew Flashy. You suck.
What?
Oh, he's my arch nemesis. We're cool.
Oh, okay, so you know him. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to ask the final question, at least from me. If anybody else has more questions in the chat room, please. This is your last few minutes to do this. Finish this sentence.
Did I lose you guys?
Oh, hi.
Over here.
Okay.
Was that just me, or was that all of us?
I think that was all of us.
Okay. Are we,
Okay, there we go. Okay, so did you hear the question?
Yes.
One more time.
Oh, okay.
All you need is blank.
Yeah.
I've thought long and hard about this, and this is another one of those, like, I call this a Garrison Keeler, which is an inside joke. I don't know why I even brought that up, but that just basically means, like, a throwaway thing. I just, honestly, like, I tried so hard to think of something clever for this, but really the only thing I could think of was all you need is happiness, which sounds super cheesy, but bear with me for a second. Because, like, obviously I'm tempted to say all you need is love, because, you know, obviously, but I feel like you can still have love, you can still be in love with someone and be really unhappy, or you can love something and it can make you unhappy. So I feel very strongly that being happy in any given situation is really the key. Like, you could be living in a box under a bridge, but as long as you're happy, then, hey, That's all that matters. So that is my answer.
I like
Okay. I have two answers again.
Again.
So the first time I thought about this question, my honest to God, like the thing that my brain just spewed out because I'm ridiculous is turkey sandwiches. I think I was just really hungry, and I also eat like a turkey sandwich every day of my life. It's like people think I exaggerate when I say that, but it's literally like it's my thing. It's what I do. And then when I'm like, I can't just say all you need is turkey sandwiches. Like, what if you're a vegetarian? You know, what if what if you can't have gluten? You know, like there are so many factors in that. That's so narrow-minded of me. So I changed it to all you need is sentience, because without sentience, you wouldn't have anything.
That's a very valid point. Yes.
I have a very expensive psych degree that says I can say that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm just going to go and take one more look through the chat window and see what's going on. Wow, it's scary in here, guys. Wow, you guys are on fire in here.
I feel so loved.
Well, thank you. Rogue made a comment for me saying that people think that I just do the cons to have fun. They have no idea how hard I work. Thank you for recognizing that. It is an incredible amount of work, and it consumes every waking minute of every day of my life to get ready for a convention, and also to do my online shop on top of doing the convention, and also raising my children. So yeah, thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate that, Rogue. Oh, your nemesis, Betty. He had to come back.
Oh, good.
You wrote not nearly as much or as well as you do. And just for those who didn't want to hit the rewind button, Betty said that you suck. So that's his response. Now you can piece that together. Okay.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Okay. What else we have here? Whoops. Comments below.
Does anybody live without an arch nemesis? I don't understand.
No, I live with mine. Yeah, he keeps it interesting for me. There was something here, and I just lost it. It was a question Rogue had. I mean, if I remember correctly, Rogue was asking about how, if you've gotten any responses or reactions from the Big Four about what you guys are doing. Have you heard from, I guess by the Big Four, she's referring to Jensen, Jared, Mark, and Misha?
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking like producers, but that works.
Okay, that too.
No, okay, no is the short answer. Like, as far as the campaign goes and the, momentum for like a spin-off, basically, no. We may or may not have gotten some minor recognition from Misha, but it was like a fringe situation that we'll discuss in a minute, but not like about the actual campaign.
I firmly believe he knows we exist.
Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely does.
Fabulous.
But none of them have like interacted with us or anything like the other actresses have. Pretty much every actress has interacted with us. I mean, there are a lot of them, but like, we've had interactions from Lauren Tom and Erica Carroll, and so that's been really cool. But as far as like the producers go, I know that Jim Michaels is aware. And then, God, who was it that was at Jib? Izzy's going to be so mad at me. My Gish teammate Izzy went to Jib this year, and she was just like, I'll do anything. Like, what do you want me to do? And I was just like, talk to everybody about Wayward Daughters. So she just walked up to Osric Chow and was just, like, talking to him about Wayward Daughters, which, like, I love you so much, Izzy. You're amazing. So apparently Osric was like, hey, can you hold on a minute? This is such a great idea. I'm going to introduce you to this person. I'm pretty sure, God.
Was it Bob Singer? Because Bob was a Jib.
I think it was, I want to say it was Bob Singer, but I
remember we were texting each other about this.
Yeah, okay, so
I'm pretty sure it was Bob Singer.
Yeah, so he was like, this is great. I'm going to introduce you to Bob Singer so you can talk to him about it. And so, like, he walked Izzy over and was just like, tell him what you just told me. So she did. So Bob Singer knows about it. I know that, God, a couple of other people on the actual production team have interacted with us a few times, which has been really cool. So yeah, we've had like little recognition, but as far as like knowledge that the campaign exists and knowing what Wayward Daughters is, I'm pretty sure that all of the powers that be know about it at this point.
Fantastic. Let's see what else. Oh, your nemesis is leaving, Betty. He writes, I must go. However, this project is awesome, and I want to see it bear fruit. Good luck. What you do is important.
Oh.
And that I think sums it up. Actually, your nemesis is actually very articulate, and
yeah, it's the worst. I have to hang out with this guy.
Oh no. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, everything that you're doing is touching a lot of lives. I don't know if you quite grasp just how important this is to a lot of people, and you know, make this come to fruition. We can't, as fans, thank you enough for the idea and for the hard work that you're putting into this effort, and just for being you. I mean, this is incredible, and I think, and like what you guys were saying earlier, I've not heard one iota of negativity about this. Everybody is super excited and all for it. I mean, 100% invested engaged in this. And it would just be fantastic and a dream come true for all of us to have your dream come true.
Yeah, no, it would be. This is the dream. Like, this is pretty much it. And we've invested so much time in this that, like, it's just, like, the dream now. But, you know, as far as you thanking us, like, thank you guys. Like, I'm talking to everybody, because without the constant passion and enthusiasm from all of the fans, we wouldn't exist. Like, the Wayward Daughters campaign as an entity wouldn't exist without this tremendous support from the fandom. So we just want to thank you guys for being constantly enthusiastic and creative, and Betty is making a heart, but you probably can't see it. We just love all of you guys. And
I love everyone at this bar!
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just love everybody. We've had it's been so incredible connecting with everyone these past 6 months. So, thank you to everybody who has been a constant support of the Wayward Daughters campaign, and thank you to everybody who is constantly bringing up really interesting ideas and talking about, you know, bettering female representation in media and just all kinds of stuff like that. Like, we exist because of you. And also Kim and Brianna are very appreciative of everyone as well. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, they're so appreciative of everything. So yes, thank you to everybody, and if this could become a reality, then that would be like the dream of a lifetime for us, but also for everybody else.
Is there any last thoughts you wanted to put out there?
Yes, actually, funny you should mention that. We have a special announcement that I've been teasing like crazy all day. So, shit, do you want to
No, go for it. It's all yours. It's all yours.
I'm so excited about this. I know that as soon as I say this, everybody's going to be like, and they're not going to believe me. But this is for real. We have partnered with Kim and Brianna, who have partnered with Creation Stands, which a lot of people know about, but if you don't know, it is Creation's new merchandise line where they are partnering with each of the actors and giving them their own page on this Creation Stands website where they can sell their own merchandise and they can give the proceeds to charity. So it's kind of like a charitable partnership with Creation. So we have finally been officially sanctioned, by Supernatural to sell Wayward Daughters merchandise on Creation Stands.
Fantastic!
So,
congratulations!
Yeah, and the reason I said nobody was going to believe me is because, the first day that we started this campaign, I was like, we're going to have shirts soon! And that was 6 months ago. And then, 3 months ago or something, I said again, we're going to do the Represent campaign, and all the proceeds are going to go to Random Acts. And then Random Acts was like, can you hold on a minute because we might have something really cool for you? And then this has been in the process since then, and I've really wanted to tell everybody about it because constantly we're getting questions like, hey, have the shirts come out yet? Did I miss that? No. So anyway, it's kind of out of our hands at this point. It's in the hands of Creation. We don't know when they're going to launch it. It should be soon. But as we said from the very beginning, all proceeds will go to Random Acts for all Wayward Daughters shirts. So if you go on the Creation Stands website, I think Kim and Brianna are going to have separate pages, but they're each going to have Wayward Daughters merchandise available on their pages. So if you go to Creation Stands whenever this happens and purchase Wayward Daughters merchandise, you can be sure that 100% of the proceeds are going to go directly to Random Acts.
So buy the shit out of some t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow. I am so happy for you guys. It's fantastic.
I'm just going to wallpaper my walls in t-shirts. My walls are just going to be t-shirts.
No, I'm going to buy one for everybody. I don't even care if you don't want one. I'm going to buy one for you.
I'll make quilts out of them. It'll be amazing. Just so many t-shirts. T-shirts out the ass.
I want a hat. I want a shirt. I want a keychain. I want a button. I want... what else?
A pony and a rocket ship, all with the Wayward Daughters logo on it.
Oh, a My Little Pony, Wayward Daughters Academy style.
Wait, where did Drew go? He needs to hear this. My arch nemesis is in the MLP fandom.
Oh, is he? Oh my God. Oh, someone, Corey5268 says make a shirt quilt.
Shirt quilt, exactly, but all the same shirt.
It's all the same shirt. And then stuff it with the shirts too.
A tattoo. I'm all over that.
Wayward Daughters tattoos.
We actually had people contact us saying that they were going to do that. So if you have done that, share it, and we will retweet it or reblog it.
I was just going to say, you need to tweet that shit and tumble that shit so we can see it. I would love to see those tattoos. Wow. Okay. Rogue is saying, I bet they launch it with the Brianna episode.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
That would be a great idea, wouldn't it? Oh, and one more comment. Weird Sisters writes, 6 months isn't as long as you think. That's very impressive. So, I mean, yeah. I mean,
thank you for that.
6 months is a project in its infancy, honestly. That's, and look where it's come to so far. In just 6 months, this is how far you've gotten. So cut yourself some slack. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
And your work is being recognized by Creation Entertainment. And your work is appreciated by Brianna and Kim and every other human being that's involved with the show. So for 6 months, I think you've, set a very high bar for everybody else.
I think we have everybody in the fandom to thank for that. honestly, what I said before, just the interaction that we get with everybody and the word of mouth and the enthusiasm, that's the reason that we've been so successful, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
thank you again.
We thank you, and I just want to thank you, ladies, for taking the time to appear on So Get This tonight and share this amazing project. And I am even more, I didn't think I could get even more excited than I already was, and I'm like up here now. This has to happen. So like I said, you send me whatever file it is so I can print it, and I will gladly have it on my table at every convention I do. Which is all of them, you know, and I do the same thing for the Supernatural Ladies Con. I have their stuff on my table, their flyers on my table too, because I believe in staunchly supporting, you know, these great projects. And all I can say is thank you, and I appreciate everything you do.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been super fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you. So all of your contact information is going to be updated in the description of the video when it uploads, which should take about less than an hour. So everybody, you know, check back for the description to get all the contact information. In the meantime, follow them at Wayward Academy.
Yes, on Twitter at Wayward Academy, on Tumblr waywarddaughtersacademy.tumblr.com, and then on Facebook Wayward Daughters Academy, and then we also have a fan networking group called the Wayward Daughters Network on Facebook.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm going to go check all of those out now. Thank you. You ladies have a good night, and everybody's watching, have a great night, and we will be back in touch on Monday with a special edition of So Get This. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.